Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you what I've been running on my Stamina Dragonite for PvP lately and what I'm going to be running come Summerset patch. This is a Werewolf build mostly to me, but it can definitely be used without Werewolf. Werewolf just happens to be my favorite thing right now, and it's very fun, and you'll see when we go over the character sheet how ridiculous some of the Werewolf stats look. But I'm going to start by going over the armor sets that we're wearing, move on to the character sheet outside of werewolf form. I'll move on to the skills we're using, and then I will go over the champion points and finally a werewolf build after that. A werewolf build being the same armor but different skills for obviously werewolf skills. So we'll go over that, and I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm using dubious food. The dubious Camoran, or however it's pronounced. It's giving me stam recovery, max stam, and max health. I'm also a red guard, and I have the Surfeit Munda Stone for stamina recovery. You could be an orc, you could be whatever stam class or race you want, I mean. But definitely everything I'm doing right now is working for sure. So let's jump right into the sets, and we'll go from there. Real quick, the first 5-piece set is Fortified Brass, craftable. I just found out about this about 3 weeks ago when I returned to the game. Shout out my boy Zhao who made it for me. Drops taunt often. Good looks. Max health, 2871 physical and spell resist, 4989 spell and physical resist. This is all medium armor. I'm in 5 medium for this build, and all the enchants on the armor are stamina based, and every piece is impenetrable. I'll go over a few options of gear in a little bit too, but mostly it's Fortified Brass. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't run it because it's craftable, and it just works out for this build. So, moving on from there, we have 5 Hulking Draugr as well. You guys know that Hulking Draugr gives max stam, and more max stam for days. A lot of max stam, a lot of physical and spell resist on this build. All the enchants on the jewelry is weapon damage, because we already have decent recovery. We gotta get our weapon damage up a little bit, right? I'll show you how we have decent recovery too. So yeah, you got your 5 Hulking Draugr, and that's only on the front bar, honestly. It can definitely be on the back bar come this next patch, but for now it's only on the front bar because that's all we got. Um, this one-handed is precise. Second, I can transmutate it to Nern or Sharpened. I'm going to do that, but obviously I'm showing you the build because it works right now, so precise does work, but I'll have to change that as soon as I can. The shield, same deal. It's Divines. It needs to be Inpen, Reinforced, or Sturdy. I'll probably take Sturdy or Inpen at this point because my physical and spell resist is already insane. But yeah, you guys get it. Like 5 Hulking Draugr, 5 Fortified Brass. Everything's purple except for the weapons, so take that as you will. And then my go-to monster helm and set for this build is Engine Guardian. The health recovery is kind of irrelevant, but when you use an ability, you have a 10% chance to summon a Dwemer Automaton to restore health, stam, or magic every 0.5 seconds for 6.5 seconds. Engine Guardian is insane. It always procs. It feels like every time I hit Igneous, this thing is out there trying to give me some resources back. I am a huge fan of Engine Guardian. Can't preach about it enough. So there's that. I'm also wearing 5-1-1, 5 medium, 1 light, 1 heavy. For my Undaunted. My Undaunted is level 9. You want to try and get your Undaunted up there. It definitely helps play a part in your max stam, max health, and max magic. If I was not running Engine Guardian right now, chances are I would be running 2 Troll King. This is very helpful in werewolf form as well. When you heal a friendly target, or yourself essentially, if they're still below 50% health, their health recovery is increased by 1494 for 10 seconds. So with nothing put into my health recovery, I'm at about 1800 health recovery when this is up. Very nice. Not the greatest, but it's very helpful for group play as well. So Troll King, definitely a very viable option. If you're looking for flat stats, do something like Stormfist and Tremor, maybe not even Tremor, so like Stormfist and Dami Haas, or Tremor and Dami Haas. You have a lot of options. It does not have to be Engine Guardian, and it does not have to be Troll King. Those are just my preferences. You can do 1 Veli and 1 Kina, I'm sure, for more weapon damage than I have. 2 Celine works. I believe they were talking about Tremor Scale and a few of these other sets, maybe even Stormfist, are going to be undodgeable come Summerset, is what the patch notes looked like when I read them. But my go-to is still probably going to be Engine Guardian. I love the sustain, and if I wasn't using that, I would use Troll King. So, yeah. You can play around with the monster helmet shoulder, see what you like. The main deal here is that you're wearing Fortified Brass and Hulking Draugr. Back bar. Right now it's a Sensei Greatsword. As soon as I can, this will be a Hulking Draugr two-handed. Sensei is obviously nothing, right? If you don't know what Sensei is, it's just there because it's gold. And I don't have a Maelstrom two-handed like I would like. I have plenty of VDSA two-handeds, more than I need, but that's irrelevant. I don't know what the Asylum two-handed does either because I just came back, but I assume Maelstrom is still better for PvP, and over any of them I would still like a Hulking Draugr because then I would have 5 Hulking Draugr on my back bar and 5 Hulking Draugr on my front bar, which would be insane. So take that as you will. I will be farming Hulking Draugr two-handed for the next few days. Yeah, I'll get right into the character sheet now. Unbuffed, 41,000 stamina, 1700 stam recovery, 2172 weapon damage, 27,000 spell resist, 22,000 physical, 2645 crit resist. Very nice stats. It's insane resist that we're sitting at for medium armor. Gotta keep in mind that this is medium armor. So if we want to look at the buffed up stats now, look at the two-handed sorting board bar first. 1900 stam recovery, 32,000 spell resist, 27,000 physical, 2645 crit resist, still 41k stam. Only thing that changed was the recovery, no weapon damage, and the resist, right? So, what now? Let's look at this one. 1700 stam recovery with that potion. It'd be about 1500 without the potion. You got 2800 weapon damage. You could get it up to a little over 3k depending on the enchant that you've procced and whatnot. You lose a good amount of stamina on this bar right now. You're sitting at 35.8k, down from 41k. But you'll be able to change that if you get the Hulking Draugr two-handed. Come Summerset, you'll be sitting at easily 39,000 again, maybe even more with the champion point increase and whatnot. Also, if your spell resist back here, you're at 29,000 spell resist in medium armor on a two-handed bar. That's not bad at all. I haven't really mentioned the weapon crit because it's not really important to me. But you have about 32% of it. Not terrible. But the biggest deals here to me is that I have good stam recovery. I hit pretty hard. And the spell and physical resist is absolutely insane. And the stamina is there as well. So, there's that. Getting right into the skills, we have Igneous and Resolving Vigor on this bar. Igneous is Major Mending. They're going to change this up a little bit in Summerset. They might buff Major Mending, it looks like, and maybe nerf that damage shield a little bit. But yeah, you hit this and then you hit your Vigor. Your Vigor tooltip is only 12.9k right now. If you want to fully buff up I need to hit the volatile, I don't know why I did, but 17k when you're buffed with your Major Mending. Very nice. Invasion can be switched out with Reverb, and you can go ahead and put Crit Rush over here if you're going to take Invasion off. We'll get more into that in a second, but I like Invasion. It's my preference. Does a good stun. Reverb is nice as well, but the people I run with, they have Defiles most of the time as well, so yeah, I like Invasion. You got your Noxious Breath over here, Major Fracture, reducing their physical resist by 5280. That's solid damage over time, solid AoE. Very nice move. Must have in my opinion, unless you're running Puncture, but you're not. You're running Heroic Slash, preferably. Heroic Slash is giving you minor heroism, minor maim, and it reduces their movement speed. This is a fantastic move. Weave it in with your light and heavy attacks all day long. It's going to snare them, it's going to reduce their damage, and it's going to give you ultimate. You're trying to build up ultimate on this build because you're either going to want to wolf out, like I have on my front bar, or you'll go for your killing combo back here. I'll go over Werewolf in a few, but killing combo on a Dragonite a lot of the time is Dizzying Swing, Take Flight, and then Reverse Slice. Hopefully you'll have some dots on them, making it a little easier to kill them, but that's the thing that kills a lot of people with Stamina Dragonite is Dizzying Swing, take flight, reverse slice. As you can see, it's dizzying. I already have a lot of stuns on this build, so feel free to take the other morph of dizzying swing if you'd like to, but I just prefer this one for that combo. Volatile armor. This is going to give you your major ward and major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resist. I also chose volatile armor over hardened armor because of the spikes that spray out. This is very good for pulling Nightblades out of stealth because they love to do that. It's another damage over time as well. It's not a fantastic one, but it's there for you. You got Rally. I've noticed a lot of people going with forward momentum lately instead of Rally for the snares and whatnot, but I still like Rally. Might gravitate toward that other morph sometime soon, but this is a good burst heal. You got your major brutality. Very strong burst heal. Very good move. Venomous Claw, single target damage over time. Solid damage over time. It's there for you. Hold on. Crack my neck. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Alright, yeah, you got your Venomous Claw. You weave this in with your light and heavy attacks. And then reverse slice over Executioner for me. You could take Executioner if you'd like. I just prefer the AoE damage. And it's your finishing move. You're gonna hit this on them when they're less than 50% health, or wherever you're comfortable hitting them with it. I'm not gonna do it right at 50% health. I'll probably start hitting this around 30-25%, and then it'll really finish them off. But yeah, you got your moves. Like I said, this can be reverb if you'd like. This can be crit rush. Just switch things up if you'd like a little bit, but mostly these are the moves. And then we have Werewolf over here on this bar. It's increasing our stam recovery by 15%. We took the one that does the light attack bleed, and whenever we pop Werewolf, it's gonna up our spell and physical resist by 9,900. Very nice stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna head over here to build some Werewolf ulti. I also need to pop my previous again. But before we do the Werewolf, we'll go over the champion points. Where should we start? Let's start with the green this time. We got 46 into Warlord, reduce the cost of break free by 17.72%. Warlord is very important to me. Crowd controls are everywhere. You want to be able to break them for as cheap as possible. I got some points in the Sprinter. I run a lot as a Werewolf. You're very quick as a Werewolf. You have a lot of stamina. I just like having the reduced cost. Even when I'm not a Werewolf, it's still nice. Mooncalf, we got our stam recovery buffed up with 56 points for 12%. As you saw on the character sheet, our stam recovery hovers between 1694 and like 1900, give or take at most times. Decent stam recovery, especially when you have Engine Guardian helping you out. Tenacity, another way we're sustaining. We got 49 points into it for 11%. We're heavy attacking a lot on our sword and board bar with Heroic Slash being weaved into it. We're heavy attacking on our two-handed bar a lot. With Venomous Claw being weaved into it, you heavy attack a lot with this build. Over here, Shadow Ward at a lot of points. I put 62 points into Shadow Ward. I like to hold block. That's just me. I am a perma blocker. Even when I'm going for damage builds, I like being able to block 21%. It's quite a bit. I'm holding block on my sword and board bar most of the time, and fighting behind my sword and shield. But that's just me. If you don't want to put that many in there, feel free to throw some more into tumbling. You already got a little block or roll dodge reduction from your medium armor, but tumbling works as well, and you could throw some into Siphoner if you really wanted. Excuse me. But yeah, Shadow Ward is the one for me. Moving on to the blue tree real quick. We got 41 points into Blessed, increasing our healing done by 9.81%. Nothing else over there because that's all magic, but over here we got Physical Weapon Expert. 31 points giving us 18% bonus damage to light and heavy attacks from our two-handed and one-handed shield weapons. This is very nice. It's adding more damage to our build. Increase your damage done with direct damage attacks by 15.72% with our 39 points into Master at Arms. This is also ideal. We want to be able to hit them with our direct damage abilities being Dizzying Swing, Heroic Slash, all that good jazz. Shattering Blows. We got 23 points in there for 10%. Increase your damage done to enemies with a damage shield by 10.22%. That's every Magic Nightblade and every Magic Sorcerer out there, especially the Sorks. They're using Conjured Ward and Harness Magic all day, and you want to be able to break that It's very key. Yeah, so those are the points right there. Most of them are over here. We got 43 in Mighty, increasing our physical poison and disease damage by 10%. We got 47 into Piercing, increasing it by 3,800. And we got 16 into Thaumaturge for 7.40% for the dots. The dots are being the Claw and the Noxious Breath. Moving on to the red tree, we have 40 into Ironclad. We want to reduce the damage we take against direct damage attacks. That's the other people's Heroic Slash, that's Incap, that's everything that's not an AoE really. If it's hitting you directly, you want to negate it with this. Increase my spell resist by 1465 with Spell Shield. I have insane spell resist on the Sword and Board bar. You saw it was about 32,000 spell resist in medium armor, and it's even higher in Werewolf. I like having good spell resist. Our physical is decent too, but it's not as high. So we're also increasing our crit resist by 1151. We got about 2600 crit resist at any given time. If I were to put my shield and my helmet impenetrable right now instead of the divines and sturdy that it is, we'd be at an even 3000 crit resist, which is not bad at all. We got 30 points over here in thick skinned, reducing the damage taken from DOTs by 12.78%. That's your Destro alties, your Venomous Claws, your Noxious Breath, your Burning Embers. A lot of these builds out there built around damage over time, so we're trying to negate that. We got 39 points in Hardy and Elemental Defender for about 9.45% on each one of those. I used to put more points into this tree for Unchained. I gave that up recently for points into Quick Recovery. I never really had points into Quick Recovery. I'd put like 5 in there at times, but now I've dumped 32 in there for 8%. This is pretty big for me. This and Blessed, you got some good heals going on. So that should be all the champion points. You got the damage ones, essentially, and some healing over here. We got healing and damage reduction over here, and then your reduction of break, free, and block / sustain on the green tree, right? Alright. So we've gone over the skills I'm using, gone over the food, which is dubious, the Serpent Mundus Stone, champion points, the gear. Real quick on the gear, I don't know if I mentioned already, I don't think I did. If you don't want to run Hulking Draugr or Fortified Brass, there's other options for you out there. You could run 5 Ravaging. When you deal damage, melee damage, you have an 8% chance to increase your weapon damage by 622 for 10 seconds. This can occur once every 10 seconds. Ravaging is not a bad set. 7th Legion, also not bad. When you take damage, you have a 10% chance to gain 483 weapon damage for 5 seconds and heal for 1400 health. Not bad at all either. It's another set too I would use, like Werewolf Hide. It gives you ultimate when you take damage. Those 3 are not bad, but Hulking Draugr is definitely my preferred. It gives you so much max stamina, and when I get that two-handed, your back bar will have just as much stamina as your front bar, essentially, with the exception of having a glyph on your Sword and Board bar. But if you guys noticed, my Sword and Board bar glyph was tri-stat anyway, so there's that. Over here, it would be Fortified Brass preferably for me, but if I had to choose anything else, it would be 5 Impenetrable Fury or 5 Impenetrable Shacklebreaker. Shacklebreaker gives more damage, more max stam, a little more recovery, but I have less physical and spell resist in heavy Shacklebreaker than I do in medium Fortified Brass. So I prefer the Fortified Brass. I'm still putting out damage. It's just tankier, right? Imperial Physique, if you're in the sewers, this is fucking insane. I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure you do. The first 4 are the same as Shacklebreaker. The 5th piece, if you're willing to gamble some Telvar, this set is insane. You will have crazy health, crazy stam, crazy magic, but that's a gamble, and you guys don't want to hear me talk about the sewers, so goodbye to Imperial Physique. Shacklebreaker, like I said, Fury's gonna up your damage every time you take crit damage, so it's got to be Fury or Fortified Brass in my opinion, but I like Fortified Brass too much. I'm in medium armor, getting heavy armor resist like it's nothing. So yeah, over here I showed you the multi-enchant. Divines, it should be in pen or sturdy, and then this will be Nern or sharpened. I'm gonna build up the werewolf ultimate real quick and then show you guys the werewolf portion of the build and call it good after that. So fully buffed up on the werewolf bar. In werewolf form, we're looking at 1900 stamina recovery, 52,000 max stam, 23k health in PvP, 10k magic, 42,000 spell resist, 37,000 physical resist when your major ward and major resolve is active. Without them, you're at 37,000 spell resist, 32,000 physical. You got decent weapon damage back here. It's about 29. You can get it to like 3k. So yeah, solid werewolf stats. Like I said, the magic is low, but it just doesn't matter because Engine Guardian gives it to you when you need. I'm pretty sure it's surfing. Dubious if that wasn't already obvious, but those are the werewolf stats. Pretty insane to have 40,000 spell resist at times in werewolf and 50k stam is pretty nice. Let's go over the moves of the werewolf and why those stats matter for werewolf. Real quick, we got Feral Pounce being our gap closer. It's gonna keep you in werewolf form longer if you use this morph. The other morph does AoE damage. It's not a bad morph either, and I might have to go to that because it's already pretty easy to stay in werewolf form in PvP. So both of these options are not bad. This is your gap closer. Ideally, you're gonna gap close to them, hit them with Rousing Roar, which is a fear. Whenever you turn into werewolf or whenever you hit Rousing Roar, Rousing Roar. It's going to fear up to 3 enemies and set them off balance, and it gives you your major brutality. I'm sure the other morph of this one is not bad either, but you lose out on the major brutality. Hircine's Rage, I just changed from the heal over time to this one. The heal over time was not strong enough for me to keep. This one increases your weapon damage by 10% for 20 seconds, which is nice. This is the only magic ability the werewolf has, and this is your heal. Not the greatest heal, but it's there. Howl of Agony, your main spammable, your main single target damage move, the most powerful move you have as a werewolf other than your light attacks. If you fear him, I went with the morph that does 30% more damage to the feared targets. It's already a very strong move, even without them being feared. It's a very, very powerful move. And we got Claws of Anguish. This is the only one not leveled up if you notice, because before I went with the heal over time one. This time around I've gone with the Major Defile one. The heal over time was not strong enough for me to keep either on that move. The heals on werewolf just aren't up to par, so I've got to kill these people before they kill me, and I've got to hope that if I am running in a group I've got some healers, but otherwise, I mean, it's very powerful, very viable. Sorry, I'm just looking at my phone. Bad YouTuber. Increases the stam and heavy attacks restored by 100% for the Pursuit passive ability. I do not heavy attack very much on my werewolf because I rely on Engine Guardian and my stam recovery is pretty decent, but you gotta heavy attack a little bit here and there, and it helps out a lot. It gives you a ridiculous amount of stamina back when you heavy attack on a werewolf. And I'm sure with the light attack and heavy attack changes coming to Summerset, werewolf is going to be even stronger. You're going to hit harder light attacks, and you're going to maybe weaker heavy attacks, but the sustain from the heavy attacks will still be there. Devour, just to eat them. Blood Rage increases the duration of werewolf transformation by 3 seconds every time you take damage. This effect can occur once every 3 seconds. This is probably the strongest passive for a werewolf in my opinion. If you want to stay in werewolf very long, that is. It keeps you in it forever. You take the right damage, you're going to be in werewolf all day long. Increase your weapon damage by 18% from this one. This is irrelevant. And there's this one. The more werewolves you have in a group, the longer you can stay as a werewolf, obviously. But even without that, if you're taking damage, if you're devouring enemies, and if you're using Feral Pounce, it'll be very easy to stay in werewolf. And why not stay in werewolf? Because you're hitting insanely hard howls. In PvP, you're going to be hitting people with 12, 13k howls pretty easily, and if they're feared, maybe a little more. It'll probably be like 12 and 13k if they're feared, if they've built their character the right way. Maybe like 8k if they're not feared. It's very, very strong werewolf. If you're not gonna use werewolf, I would use the Sword and Board ulti on the front bar, or potentially Dawnbreaker, but you don't really need Dawnbreaker because you have Take Flight, a very strong move, 17k, unbuffed tooltip. And like I said before, one of your main killing combos is Dizzying Swing, Take Flight, Reverse Slice. Other than that, I feel like I've gone over everything. We looked at the character sheet multiple times. I've gone over the skills, gone over armor, gone over the champion points and the werewolf. So, hope you guys enjoyed or learned something, and I will see you guys